Hey there, Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon, Gemini Rising. Welcome to your preview of 2024. Happy New Year to you. I hope that that the holidays were really a good time for you. It was really good for me to be able to have that nice long break. So thank you very much for being patient with that. So what we're going to do is we're going to look at planets and signs and houses a little bit that will impact you over the year, and then we're going to do a 9-card spread and get into some more of the details of it, and then pull some cards for support, what to really lean into as far as having guidance this year, and to work with it. So here we go. You have Jupiter coming up is a primary planet to pay attention to. You just can't make this stuff up, right? So in May, I could tell you exactly when if I look here. In May, Jupiter moves into your sign. This is a big deal. He'll be there for about a year, helping to expand things. And so the more things that you're curious about, the more things that you're interested in, the more things that you are willing to explore. So on actually it's on May 26th. On May 26th, Jupiter moves into your sign. He's going to spend about a year there. So lots of opportunities to really get some very expansive energy coming through for you. Another thing to pay attention to is what's going on in Cancer this year. And so what is going on in Cancer? Well, we have Mars going to do a major retrograde in Cancer. And that retrograde is actually from 6 degrees of Leo back to 17 degrees of Cancer. And the retrograde period actually starts toward the end of the year and will follow through into next year. So that's part of what's going to go on. But also, as planets are moving through Cancer, that energy, pay attention to what's happening there. When Mars is there, let's see, what is he going to be doing there? He's going to be triggering some stuff. I don't think it'd be interesting. You have the 7th house, partnership, cooperation. So Cancer is also about issues around the home and family. And so you have home and family and partnership, and you have Jupiter, which is coming to bless you, really, to give you opportunities to expand things in your life. And so this is a very fortuitous time for you. Pluto moving into Aquarius is going to be trining your sign most of the year, and that has a nice flow of energy about making changes and how do you want to expand them. And so part of Cancer energy is also about your emotional balance, and so getting more in touch with your emotional response to things. So we'll have to see what happens from there. So these cards are set up like little statements. So let's go ahead and read what you have here. You have the granting of intuition to protect balance. So really paying attention to that energy of creating the balance in your life. But it feels like balance around partnership, right? Because we're talking about the 7th house. And so balance in partnership and in relationship around your families, using that Jupiter energy to have to expand your intuition about how you're going to protect and protect those relationships, or maybe protect the people in it, but the balance of it, right? We don't want to be too much, right? So all right, and Jupiter, this is a caution about Jupiter in your sign. Jupiter just likes to expand. And so it can expand the good and it can expand the negative. And so it's up to you to make sure that you're maintaining some kind of a balance in everything that's being expanded, right? So then you have blessings from attitudes from the past about cooperation. So what have you learned about how to cooperate and to work in relationship with other people? And relationships is just a one-on-one. So it could be you and your best friend. It could be you and your significant other. It could be you and a child or a parent or whatever. It could be you and your boss. It's a in the moment cooperation. What have you learned, right? And so the blessing is that knowledge is power, and you have learned something along the way. And this is an opportunity for you to really utilize this. You get good fortune resulting from the history of your partners. So this is interesting. This could be financial. It could be emotional. It could be both. The history of your partners. wow. Mm, it could be that you have developed a really good friendship with someone along the way, and then they do you a really good turn this year, or something like that. And you'll have to see how that plays out for you. So here's the other side of it. And then it's the other side of the coin. So you have the opportunity to learn or teach. So Sagittarius is ruled by Jupiter, and that rules the ninth house. This is about knowledge and information coming in. Sagittarius opposes your sign, and actually when Jupiter is in your sign, it's when he is in detriment, right? And so he does struggle with this energy. He's not at home. He's as far away from home as he can get. That being said, we always reach across the zodiac to balance our energy, right? And we had that energy around needing to balance things, right? The seventh house is ruled by Libra, and so there's always this balancing act. And so reaching across. And so this year, because of some of the other planetary placements, I think that there's going to be a lot of information coming out, and there's going to be a need for you to do your own research to make sure that what you're getting is true for you. Doesn't have to be everybody's truth. It just does, but don't take somebody else's word for this as a fact, right? This is learn or teach, and to expand that information. But here you have learn or teach your feelings diplomatically. And so in partnership here this year, learn or teach your feelings. When you say someone says something really rude and sarcastic to you, you could dress them down easily. You could say the stuff because you're an air sign and you're totally capable of that. Or you could say, ouch. And if it's someone that really cares about you and they were just being thoughtless, they'll be like, ooh, I'm sorry. And so there's the diplomacy that's going to need to come into play this year when you're discussing your feelings. People don't make us feel angry. People don't make us feel hurt. We allow those things to happen. And so it's important, though, that we let them know, that was triggering. Wow. Okay. And so you don't have to fire up, but you might want to point at it in a kinder, gentler way. All right, so be positive about attitudes from the past about relationships. So how do we do that? Well, that relationship might have ended really badly. It could be a work relationship or a personal relationship, right? But it might have completely blown up in your face. But be positive about the attitudes from the past, right? And so how do you do that? You go, what did I learn? What did I learn about me? What did I learn to avoid? What did I learn? How did I grow? How did that situation, relationship, whatever it is, how did that allow me to grow as a person, as a soul, right? And so then you can find the positive in anything if you do that. And you have grow and expand. Use your intuition to get a fair deal. This is working from your gut, right? Cancer rules the gut. And so this is, if you're making business choices or decisions or something, you have a chance to negotiate by going, does that sound like a good deal or not? And so it's the checking in to your gut to see what it is that's happening. That could be something that really helps you this year to expand your life in unexpected ways. And so Jupiter in your sign is definitely a blessing. And Venus will conjunct with Jupiter in your sign at some point this year. And that will make for, the sun's going to conjunct Jupiter in your sign. Mars is going to be there. So when Mars conjuncts Jupiter in your sign, that's going to be about taking action on what you want to expand. Venus is the other benefic, and she's also around relationship matters, right? She rules Libra. And so it could be an opportunity to really focus in on how to expand your relationships. Mercury's going to conjunct. And so that's going to be the communication is going to have an opportunity to expand. And so all these energies in your life have a lot of opportunity to expand things in order to transform your life in a whole new way as those personal planets make their way through there. And so what's interesting is that is the big energy of the year. So the personal planets move, except for Mars, Venus and Mercury move very close to the sun, generally very close. And so let's just take a quick look to see when you're looking at these really important opportunities. So we already know about that the 20th of May, right? We know about that being really a significant time. But let's just see here. We have Venus conjunct the Sun right around June 1st. And so that week is really powerful going on there, right? And then Mercury will conjunct the Sun. Where's Mercury? There you are. There you are, buddy. Mercury conjuncts the Sun on the 17th of June, right around the solstice. And so lots of things going on there to amplify. So June, May into to July 20th, right? There was something there. So beginning of June through the middle of May, very powerful, empowering time for you to be really working through some of that energy. Okay, so what do we have here? In the key to the situations, we have the Ten of Wands. I don't want you to think that's a bad thing, because look at this. They are harvesting the good things, right? They are expanding. They do, however, have to climb all the way up to their house at the top of the hill. So the things were in the valley. They grew in the fertile valley. But what's the way to look at this is that they had this great growth here. Look at the abundance that they're carrying, right, in the fertile valley. But their house is on the top of the hill where they can see, and they are protected, and they are they could see the enemies coming, and also you know how it is. Generally speaking, they look for the easy marks. People look for the easy marks, and that wouldn't be an easy mark, right? And so even though it's a trek to get up there, it's totally going to be worth it. So overall energy here is the King of Wands. The King of Wands is creative and it's expansive, but what's really interesting about the King of Wands is he actually encourages others. So if you have a boss, you may have a boss that's like a King of Wands, or you may be a boss who's a King of Wands. They totally encourage others to develop their creativity. They like to surround themselves with creative people, and they nurture and support that. So look for the systems in your life where you are able to do this for others, or where others are doing this for you. North Node is in Aries, and Aries is an energy of choice and decision making for you. And so we get a total solar eclipse on the 8th of April in Aries, and it's a new moon. So I feel like there's going to be this great opportunity where you have the choice and the decision about which direction you want to expand your creative energy into, that will allow you to feel very in control. And the King of Wands is pretty balanced energy. So you have the Ten of Wands and the King of Wands. A lot of fire going on here. Wow, so many major arcana. You're the sixth sign I've done, and I've had one or two major arcana maybe show up in some of these. But you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 major arcana out of 10 cards. So that's what, 60%. We have an ace. We have a 10, so ending a new beginning, and we have these two people cards. So this is a major year for you. When you have minor arcana showing up in your chart, in your reading, a lot of times that means this is a situation that you can easily direct or move or change or shift the energy. But when the major arcana show up, that is a cycle that is happening on the Fool's Journey that you're going to have to address that stage in it. And I'm just looking here. We have the 11, the 12, the 13. So the Wheel of Fortune has already turned, And now you're into the what do you do with that, right? That we move through the balancing, the justice that needs to come in, right? That 7th house of Libra. That's like really the energy of that 11. And then we have a 10 and a 1. So the wheel is turning, and we have the 21 of another cycle. And so you have completed one cycle in something in your life and moving into the second part of that big cycle, which is the world in the journey. And there is this need to be a master of creation in your own life. And what are you creating? Something here, we've got this this Knight of Pentacles. And so it's something that you're manifesting into 3D that has taken some time to do, but you're coming up to a harvesting point. A need to harvest part of it in order to complete a cycle, right? This is definitely harvesting energy with this 10 of Wands here, and in the outgoing energy having the Death card, which is also about a harvesting of creating a transformation. And the struggle is that you're not sure that the change is so great. You're not really excited about it because in the area of the challenge, we have the Sun card. And this is being connected with your intuition and your higher self, which Cancer is very connected to the intuition and their higher self, right? And so this is energy that's really encouraging you to connect in and to be very grounded in it. Notice that he's sitting in a lotus position and he's got his antlers there bringing down the information. Ace of Swords is where you're trying to seek information. And here he's sitting in a meditative pose, and the Owls of Wisdom are there, and this is on your mind. You are trying to consider to figure out which direction to move in. We have 2 solar eclipses this year. We have the one on April 8th. We have one in the middle of October. And I feel like it's the one in the middle of October because of the way this card is designed, that it's going to be the big one for you. It's not the middle, it's the 2nd of October. And that one's in Libra, which is the 7th house. That's the one. That's the one. And while that's going on, Cancer is being activated by Mars going into shadow at that time. And that trines your energy. You know what? I wonder if that trines Jupiter. Because this feels very significant. You should really mark on your calendar that October 2nd date. Because, yeah, Mars is almost in shadow at that point. We've got, where's Jupiter? Jupiter is at 21 degrees, so not trining it. Trining by sign, but not by degree. This is going to be really powerful because it is conjunct Mercury. Look, you're trying to seek the information. The information is within you. This is what this is saying. You got to go within. You're not going to find the information out there in the world out there. It's going to be in here. It's going to be listening to your heart, listening to your gut, understanding where the information is that is coming through. The struggle is, again, the energy of going within, right? This Hermit card. This is about finding the light within, and for some reason, finding the light feels like such a struggle. And it's almost as though there's too much news and information coming in, and there is a need for you to go inside and discern for yourself what is true for you and how can you use it. How are you going to transform this situation? We have the Hanged Man. Again, it is taking the time. And look, he's a frozen dude that's slowly thawing out. And so there is a need to take a break, to step back in order to complete a major cycle that you have going on with this world card as the action to take. And so there is this huge big cycle that's happening in that new moon eclipse in Libra on the 2nd, which it looks like it's at about, I forget what I saw there, like 8 or 9 degrees there. That one right there is going to really impact you. Because here in this death card, we have the solar eclipse up here in the corner. And you can see that it's a harvesting energy because we have the pumpkins here and everything. And there's that fire in the background, that passionate energy there. The resource to lean into is your higher self. Connecting in with your higher self. That is really, there is a major cycle happening here. And there's a big culmination of this cycle. I almost feel like that first one in Aries feels like the 10 of the wheel of fortune turning. I think you're going to get a real taste for what is changing in your life because that's right before Jupiter moves into your sign. And then as Jupiter moves into your sign, I think you start to see where it is that you need to balance things and to get the information coming in. And then there is something about that eclipse, that one right there on October 2nd, that is going to have a seriously powerful download. I don't have a lot to work with here because they're major arcana. And so that means that I can't really tell you in what part of your life this change is happening. I can't. It's got to do with relationships, though. In relationship to yourself, relationship to others around you in communities or groups. It's got to do with partnership. Wow. Big time. Okay. That's a big highlight for you this year. Look, we've got here this reflective energy, right? And it's kind of hard to tell. This is all pink, and then that's purple on the inside, this intuition. And then we have this that looks like to me like a honeybee. So let's see what we get here. So we have 5, which is about change. And again, we have this Hierophant here. Changes are going to be made in partnerships this year. And that doesn't mean you're leaving a partner. It could be a deepening of the connection by balancing your energy. And what have you learned about partnerships in the past, and how can you bring that information forward and be in a more a better partner for your partner, and recognizing where your partner has been a good partner to you. It could be that, or recognizing where that hasn't been the case, and what do you do now, right? And so we have this card of alignment. This is the beginning of a very powerful shift, both spiritually and energetically. And in these cards, like I said, 60% of them are major arcana here. So this is a complete connection and alignment of your higher self and your physical self. That is what this is. A complete connection and alignment of your higher self and your physical self. Sometimes this alignment can cause chaos and confusion, but there's no need to worry or feel alarmed with what is happening in your life right now. Everything is moving in perfect order as your spiritual and physical selves align into perfect balance. Once complete, your daily life will be more in harmony with your spiritual path. There's big shifts and changes, and there's a need to allow the thawing, the changing to happen. So I view the tarot a little different than other people do. I do believe it moves in order. I believe that it starts with the Emperor in the Aries energy and it makes its way through. The Hanged Man is interesting because I feel like there's 2 different energies that have to do. You have the partnership of Libra, and then you've got the deep transformation of Scorpio. And there is an extra energy in between that, in between the justice and things hanging in the balance before the transformation happens. And so that harvesting area, and if there are some spiritual communities that look at, they break up the harvest season into 3 parts, and that's what it feels like is happening here. There is the balancing of the energy, the waiting for the ripening to happen, and then the ripening starts happening, and then there's the complete harvest. And so there is a big, massive change in your life, but it's about your spirituality and your partnership with spirit. It may play out in the physical with partnerships in business or in personal, but this feels more like a big, massive internal shift that is going on within you, and a need to really, come into your own sense of well-being and truth of who you are. And so we have here this card here, the 26, which is the elemental. And see, to me, this looks like fall. To me, this looks like, my favorite time of the year, my favorite, I love in fall. Let me put this, this is really close to that October 2nd time frame, when around here, the trees are green and the fall colors are starting to happen. And there's more green than there is colors. And that phase doesn't last very long, but oh my God, I think that's when the trees are just at their most glorious. So that's why I really think it's this fall one energy that's really going to trigger all this. So the elemental energy is calling you to connect to the mighty and loving force of the planet. Try gardening, get a houseplant, go for a hike, or sit in the grass in a park. Open yourself to the energies of the earth in every activity you do. Feel the pulse of life in the plants, embrace the magic of creation, and play within the beauty and the bounty of Mother Earth provides. Give your gratitude and prayer to all that you eat. Create an intimate connection with Gaia. Heals the earth, and it opens you to new levels of energy, connection, and communication in a very powerful way. This is a year where I don't know where you're living, how you're living, but you should be able to put something into a potted plant and watch it grow, even if it's basil, right? And then there's a harvesting that happens. You cut them, you dry them, and you can actually use them, right? And so there is something here about the need to observe the cycles of nature, how the outer is also the inner, and the inner is the outer. And so, big spiritual thing. When Uranus moves into your sign next year, it is going to be a grand power and shift of change. And I almost feel like if you can strengthen your connection using this Jupiter energy, Jupiter ruling Sagittarius, which is about the philosophical, it is about the religion, it is about knowledge and wisdom, but also in Sagittarius is where we have the galactic center, and so Jupiter is also part of that gateway energy to that. The stronger your connection is to spirit, the more you're going to be at peace, Cancer, and peace and in balance and in the energy of home within yourself for the chaos that's going on in the world around you. So you have Saturn, the administrator. I walk with a foot in both the earthly and the spiritual world. That is something you're going to have to do right now. That is something you're going to have to do right now. And Saturn is in Pisces, which squares your energy. And it is about trying to help us to create boundaries and manifest things around our dreams. But also we have Neptune up there, and that's really about connecting in with spirit. So you really have this they're calling it an invitation. They're calling it an invitation to strengthen that connection, because you're going to need that tether moving forward. Uranus moving through your sign for 7 years. Once it gets there next year, will be trining Pluto in Aquarius. It will be unsettling in general. It has an opportunity, though, to really set you up for success. There will be a big expansion of all things air at that time. And Jupiter is kind of laying the groundwork and giving you a chance to kind of get a taste of it, a flavor for it. So you have Jet. I am always divinely protected. I know I am safe. And so jet is actually made out of lava. And so it is a stone that is created when the lava cools quickly. It's like a bubble. It feels hollow inside. It's so lightweight. So release your anger and anxiety and your jealousy and your frustration. Deflect the negative energy. Practice meditation on a regular basis. Like they can't say that enough. Invoke divine protection. Improve ability to quiet the mind. Gemini struggles because of that monkey mind thing, right? You do. You guys are like squirrel. And you're curious and you're interested in so many things, and there's nothing wrong with any of that. But I do think there's going to be a lot of stuff out there in the media this year, and not all of it is true. And the only way to really discern and decide what is true for you is by knowing who you are. And the only place you can find that information is within. And so there's a need to really connect in. And we have turquoise. Turquoise is about the truth. It's the higher truth. It's the higher heart and the throat chakra and this turquoise color here. And so it says here, I'm always in the right place at the right time with the right people. And if you want to create these opportunities for yourself, you got to know who you are so that you're putting your energy out into the world so that you're attracting the right frequency back to you. So improve timing, increase the occurrence of synchronicities and opportunities. Be inspired and creative ideas. This King of Wands here. Develop understanding of various cultures and spiritual philosophies. That's that balancing act of Jupiter coming from that Sagittarius energy and helping to support you. This is a year to cultivate your relationship with yourself and what is true for you and what you really believe. And not let other people tell you what you believe and how to think and how to feel, but using your own connection to your higher self, to your own innate knowledge and wisdom, using your intuition, working through the heart space. Working through the heart space, not the mind space. So in your heart, you have 40,000 brain cells. There's a little mini brain in the heart. It has a stronger electrical magnetic pulse than all of the brain cells in your head. It is the one that connects with the higher form, the universe, your higher self. This is the one, this is the brain to work with. And so developing that intuition and really learning to listen to yourself and figuring out what is true for you. So I am offering a course. It's going to be limited to 10 people. And we're going to get into our own personal charts. We're going to study our charts so that we understand who we are. Who are we? What are our gifts? What are the challenges? What were the tools we came with to overcome those challenges? What are, it's your life explained. It's a 10-week course. We're going to do this starting at the end of January. And so details for it will be in the description box below, and it's on Facebook. But I think that the more you know yourself, the more everybody knows themselves right now, the better prepared we're going to be for the chaos that is coming 25 through 28. Those are going to be some really turbulent times. And things will start to sort themselves out somewhat in 28. But it's almost like we need to make sure that we're in a boat that can handle the rough seas. So we got to go and see what boards need to be replaced. Where do we need to tar up, right? Do we have an extra set of sails? Do we have a patch kit? It is about making sure that we have the sturdiest, the strongest, the most, can't have rotted ropes. There's like something about really shoring up our situation here. And for you guys, and I think for everybody, the more we are connected with spirit, the stronger our core of who we are is going to be. And look at the muscles on this guy. The stronger our core, that connection with spirit is, the better able we're going to be to weather the storms that are coming. And they are coming. And I don't say this to make you feel fearful, because kind of makes me think of Ryan Holial. He goes, don't be scared, be prepared. That's what I really want people to do. And one of the ways to do it is to really know yourself and to really know your higher self. So I think this is a year to really explore that. So, all right, Gemini, I hope you found this helpful. I'll be back on Facebook. I'm on Facebook every day. I'll be back here more regularly coming up. I've been trying to get these out, and the energy hasn't been good for me, but it's turning. So there you go. You guys take great care of yourselves. Make the time to get to know your higher self and to strengthen that connection. You really are going to need it. All right. All right. I'll talk to you again soon.